Hola, and welcome to Spain Impossible. This is step one on the Fat Loss After 50 vodcast. This is step one of the blueprint. Stick around all the way to the end because this irons out the first steps in the program. And I know we had a step 0 and a step 0.5, just kind of getting your mind into what's happening. But subscribe and like, because you're going to want to come along on this journey. All right, guys, step one is draw a line in the sand. I am done being fat. I am done being unhealthy. I am done with whatever it is that you've got going on in your life. I am done being an alcoholic. I'm done being a workaholic. I'm done. Draw a line in the sand. Enough is enough. Are you tired of being sick and tired? Then draw a line in the sand, learn the blueprint, follow the blueprint, and do something about it. Because it is time that you did something about it. I stumbled across this blueprint last year, and I was an idiot forever giving up on it and going, hey, man, this has been great. I lost 45 pounds in 100 days. And, I did carry it on a little bit longer than the 100 days. I got to almost 55 pounds down. And then I let life get in the way. I went back to the standard American diet, slowly dragging my feet, but as the days wore on, more and more of the standard American diet creeped in. And if you saw my blood tests, you know what this 100 days did. And you saw what the really sad time was. I didn't do it this time. My doctor's appointment is in a couple of weeks, first couple of weeks of June, and I'll get updated labs. But I have been on this diet, back in the blueprint. I don't even like calling it a diet. I just sometimes don't know how else to refer to it because of, you think of it that way. So I'm going to work on that. Try not to call it a diet. It's a lifestyle change. I'm changing forever the lifestyle that I choose to lead when it comes to food and it comes to exercise. So that's what this blueprint really is about. But you have to draw a line in the sand. You have to have, like in step 0.5, figured out your why. Why are you doing this? For me, I'm moving to Spain, and I don't want to move to Spain in 2 years and a couple of months fat and unhealthy. I want to move to Spain for 300 plus days of sunshine a year because I want to be outside enjoying the sunshine. I want to walk from wherever my place is down to the beach, walk the promenades, be able to go to the restaurants and make good choices because I've developed these habits in the 2 years leading up to. Now, I've given myself a year to take off the 100 pounds. Well, what's the other year and change for? To make modifications, to make adjustments, to continue if I need to get a little lower than 194. If I need to get a little lower, I can get a little lower. And making the adjustments to the exercise. Like I said, I want to be able to walk 20,000 steps a day and not think twice about it. Right now, when I get to 8,000, 9,000 steps a day, I'm like, whew, man, I'm tired. My feet hurt, my knees hurt, but I have arthritic joints. But it's a move it or lose it. You've got to move through it. And that's why we start slow. So have your why figured out. If you are just sick and tired of being sick and tired and fat, and that's a big enough why for you, If it's you're tired of sitting on the sidelines and watching your grandkids play, but you can't help your grandson or your granddaughter learn how to play soccer because your fat ass can't run anymore, that's where I'm at. I'd love to help my grandkids, but that's not my why. That's in there, but that's not my why. Have your why figured out. The real why. What's going to continue to drive you if you have a shitty day? What's going to continue after you have eaten the same foods almost every day for 3 months, 6 months, a year? Now, you don't have to eat the same thing. But if you're like me and you like simplicity, eating the same thing makes it so simple. You know what you're buying. You know about how long it takes you to go through those things when you do buy them. You know what you're going to have every day. But if you're one of these people that wants to shake it up and try different recipes and do other things and eat different, your basics, your three. Protein, healthy fats, and fiber. And king, prince, pauper. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. We don't need a bunch of built-in snacks in this blueprint because you're full. When you eat protein, healthy fat, and fiber, you're full. You're satiated. You don't get from 4 hours from breakfast to lunch or 5 hours from breakfast to lunch. You don't get, oh my God, I'm so hungry, I need something. You just don't get that way if you're doing the things the right way. And that's why you're following the steps, is you want to know how to do things the way that I stumbled across. Like literally, it took me a month of food journaling to figure out that I'd stumbled across something. And then I continued it for another month, month and a half, 2 months. And I was like, holy crap, this is the best thing I've ever stumbled across in my life, because the weight's just melting off and I'm not hungry. I'm not starving myself. My body feels great because it's getting nutrition. I'm not malnourishing myself to go on some diet, buying a bunch of, store-bought, ultra-processed, so-called healthy or diet foods. I'm not stripping my body of carbohydrates on, keto, and I'm not eliminating everything but meat on carnivore. I'm not doing any of those things. I'm eating whole, unprocessed as much as possible food. And not only that, it turns out to be cheaper than what I was doing before. And you don't have to do anything special other than, having a what's it called? I don't remember if it's a Ninja or whatever it is, but a smoothie maker. And having a pan and a spatula for your breakfast. And having dinnerware. And maybe having some containers to put things in for your lunch that are, small, so you don't overfill them and have too many calories. And you don't have to count calories. You don't have to have a diet scale. You don't have to have an app on your phone. You don't have to have whatever this new thing is that I keep seeing on Instagram where you got to, and supposedly it tells you what you need. What you need, what your body needs, is protein, healthy fat, and fiber. That's what it needs. If we would eliminate the word carbohydrate and switch it with fiber, that would go so far in teaching people how to eat healthy. So you've drawn a line in the sand. You have your why. Now it's time to set a date. And what do I mean by set a date? I want you to plan for this. This is not something that you just jump back into. Now, me, I'd done it before. I knew what I was going to eat. I went, you know what? On Monday, I'm starting this. And over the weekend, I shopped for it. But that's me. I had done it before. I had it all written down in my food journal, exactly what I was eating. I knew exactly what I needed to get because I could look in my cupboards and go, I need this, 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 and this, and I need that too. And that's what I shop for. But you, just starting out, just doing this blueprint for the first time, you need a couple of weeks to prepare. So set your date out a minimum of 14 days, a minimum, maybe 21 days. You need to get rid of the foods in your house without just junking them and throwing them out like I've seen some other diet gurus say. Eat them up. They're food. You spent money on them. Why waste them? You know, if you got a pack of frozen pizzas in the freezer, make sure you eat those in the next 14 to 21 days. Start on a Monday. The sheets go Monday to Sunday. Start on a Monday. So plan yourself out. Give yourself 2, possibly 3 weeks. Now, if you're like me in my past and you drink a lot of alcohol, the first week's going to be rough. Now, fortunately, I would drink alcohol in my life, and I got to a point where I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to quit for a little while. And I would quit for 30, 60, 90 days. So, and then when I went back to drinking, I would wait until I got, a little too, felt like I was drinking too much, and it would be, I'm going to take 30, 60, 90 days off. So I've been through that. It's not nearly as hard on me. But if you've been a drinker for the last 10 years and you drink daily or whatever, it's going to be hard on you. I'm not going to lie. Now, the food will go a long way towards what you're doing, and it's going to keep you full. It's going to keep you satisfied. And my biggest tip for you is even if it hasn't been 3 hours, if you start to feel hungry or you start to feel that urge to go out and grab some beers or whatever, go to freaking bed. Go lay in bed. Scroll on your phone. Go to sleep. Who doesn't need a little extra sleep in today's world, if you know what I mean? You're going to have to do things to avoid it. Have the teas ordered, ready to go. So we are removing alcohol, we are removing coffee, and we are removing, let's call them not smart foods. But we're not throwing all this stuff away. We're not just trashing our cupboards. You have 14 to 21 days. Enjoy yourself. If you love a beef and cheddar from Arby's, go have a couple of them. If you love payday bars, have a couple of them. If you love Twizzlers, buy a big bag of them and finish them off over 14 to 21 days. If you're a drinker, seriously, this works because I've done it before. Get fucking stinking drunk. Sorry. I shouldn't have said it that way. Get stinking drunk. The kind of drunk where you wake up in the morning and you go, I'm never going to drink again. That'll help. Finish your alcohol. Finish the foods in your house. The Ho-Hos and the Twinkies and the Little Debbies and all this stuff that you have in your house. Now, if your family is not going along for the ride, I would pick out a dedicated cupboard. That's what I have. I have my cupboard. My cupboard has my stuff in it. And that way, I don't go in the cupboard that has the Little Debbies, and I don't go I have to go in the freezer, but I just ignore the fact that there's stuff in there for the grandkids and for my son and for my wife to have, because they're not on this journey. My wife doesn't have 100 pounds to lose. My wife could stand to lose maybe 25. She doesn't need to. She's overall healthy, healthier than I am. And she's not a big drinker. So she has beer in the house. I don't drink when I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, will I add back in at some point in time? When I feel I can control it and just have a beer with dinner, or we're out sitting somewhere and it's like, yeah, I can order a beer. I'm not going to buy it and put it in my house. I'll buy my wife's beer at the grocery store, but I don't really care for her beer, so it's not an issue. But for me, if I have it in the house, I'm going to drink it. So I don't buy it and put it in the house. Not my beer anyways. Not the beers that I like. Have fun with your last couple of weeks. That's what I'm telling you. Draw a line in the sand, set a date and stick to it, and enjoy everything that you feel you're going to miss. But start on your date. Stick to it. Start that Monday morning. And if you're an alcohol drinker, I already covered this, I'll tell you what, get stinking frickin' drunk on Sunday so that when you wake up on Monday morning, you're going, I ain't never drinking again. Because it will help. It gives you a, like, remember how bad I felt Monday morning? And after 3, 4, 5 days, as your body starts acclimating and going, hey, we're like getting food, like stuff we like, not stuff that we have to send through the liver and have the liver take that poison and capsule it up in fat and stick it somewhere in the body so that it doesn't hurt us. We need to have the lemon. We need to have the apple cider vinegar. Why? Because as you lose fat, the toxins that are stored in that fat come out. And your liver needs the lemon juice and the apple cider vinegar to help it process that stuff. You want to be flushing your body. You're going to pee all the time. You're going to pee and pee and pee and pee and pee. Okay? There may be some stomach issues in the first couple of weeks too. Let's be honest. You may get a case of the runs because you've changed everything about it. But have faith, because when you're eating protein, healthy fat, and fiber, your bowel movements will become very regular. Your gut will completely change because the fiber and the healthy fats and the protein are the stuff that the good bacteria in your gut wants to snack on. And when that starts happening, your bowel movements change and you become much more regular, much better bowel movements. I don't have any problem with rushing to the bathroom or anything like that when I'm on this, other than maybe the first couple of weeks, because you've taken, and here's a bonus to enjoying yourself in the last couple of weeks. Your weight's going to go up and you're not the least bit concerned about it because you're starting this new blueprint. And that first week, particularly if you get off of alcohol, or if you are an alcohol drinker, your weight's going to go, whew. Seriously, you're going to lose like 10, 11 pounds. I wouldn't doubt it if somebody reports losing 15 in the first week. Now, granted, that a lot of that's water weight. A lot of it's stuff that's been stored in what they call the interstitial space, something like that. But it'll make you feel great. Man, I lost 10 pounds this week. That's not going to happen every week. That's the initial week of weight loss is probably going to be pretty big, particularly if you've done what I've told you to do. Enjoy your last couple of weeks. And if you're a drinker, because drinkers tend to hold more water in that interstitial space, which is kind of the space between cells and little microscopic parts. But when you start these teas and they start helping support your body, you're going to pee a lot. So get used to it. But that balances out as well. And you're taking in all of that water, all of that fluid that's going to help your body flush every toxin out as it gets released from your fat cells. But we want our liver functioning well. Lemon juice and apple cider vinegar are going to help with that. And we want to make sure we're getting enough fluid. That's why 8 cups of tea and water afterwards. It's a lot to drink, I know. Trust me, you'll work right into the circuit of doing it. So we covered that. When you change your mindset about these things, I don't want you to call them bad foods. If you have to, use ultra processed. If you have to, say, that's not a smart food. Because at some point in time, you're going to be at a birthday party or an anniversary party or something like that, and there's going to be bad food and nothing else to eat, and you're going to have to eat it. So don't call it bad food. just say to yourself, I want to make smart choices. I don't want to make poor choices with food. I don't want to make not smart choices with food. So if you can get away from calling them bad foods and use something else, it's going to help that brain relation for those times in the future where you are faced with your choices are nothing but not smart foods. So, but we don't want them to be bad in that light, because you want to make smart choices over not smart choices. So have all of your foods ready to go on day one, whether you shop for them 3 days before, the day before, whatever. When you wake up on day one, your starting date, you need to know, I have the stuff I need for my breakfast. I have the stuff I need for my lunch. And I have the stuff I need for my dinner. And if you need to meal plan and prep over the weekend before, do it, because it needs to be there. This needs to be the stuff that you're reaching for. And if you don't have it immediately available so that you can do the things that you need to do, you're going to make not so smart choices. They might be smarter, but not so smart. So grocery shop, meal plan, prep the weekend before. Just don't buy the junk food anymore. Unless you're like me and you've got to put the stuff in the house for a wife or a child or whatever. Just don't buy it anymore. Don't even go down those aisles if you can avoid those aisles at the grocery store. That's what I do with the beer section. I just don't go in that section. I don't go in the alcohol section. And luckily, the beer that my wife likes is always on an end cap way down at the end, and I just grab that and throw it in the cart when she needs it. But she doesn't drink that much, so she doesn't need it very often. So that's the basis of step one. Have your why figured out, pick a start date and stick to it, and have fun with that last 14 to 21 days. Eat up everything in your house that you're not going to be, celebrate, have alcohol, go out with friends. If you have to, let your friends know, let your family know, hey, I'm not going to be going out for a while. And tell them why. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Whatever it happens to be, whatever your why is, tell them. Don't just ghost them. Just be like, hey, you know what? I can't hang out right now because I got to get my food right. I got to get my exercise right. I got to get on a healthier path so that I'm around longer for whatever your why is. So the first 45 days out to about 90 are the most crucial. So if you're going to quit alcohol and quit coffee and quit not smart foods, plan for 90 days, because it takes about 90 days to form a good habit. And then it takes reinforcing that habit after the 90 days for quite a period of time before you're going to get, like we talked about, the well-worn grooves, so that when you go out to eat, you're just like boom, boom, boom on the menu, because you know those things are protein, healthy fats, and fiber. So understand that this is a process. First 45 to 90 days are the most crucial. After you're completely locked in and you're doing this and you've lost probably in 90 days a pretty significant amount of weight, probably 30 to 40, 50 pounds, you're locked in. Go out with friends, have dinner once, twice a month, maybe. Remember, we're talking about 84 meals in a 4-week period. If you have one or you have two that are not part of the blueprint, that's okay, because you've done the hard part. But don't go 90 days and then go, hey, I made it, like this freaking idiot did. Okay? Do the 90 days, and if you're not at your goal weight, you're not done. If you're not feeling healthy and exercising every day and doing the things that you need to do, and I'm not talking hours in the gym, I'm talking 30 minutes. 30 minutes of exercise 7 days a week, that's not where we start. But if you've reached that point at 90 days, good job. I haven't reached that spot. I'm not quite to 90 days yet anyways, but I haven't reached the point where I'm doing half an hour every day. Just to let you know, I'm starting slow. I'm practicing what I'm preaching. So what do you do if you mess up? Start again tomorrow. It's not fatal unless whatever you messed up with caused a car wreck, a heart attack, stroke, something like that. It's not fatal to screw up. Get that through your head. It doesn't need to knock you out of the program, off the blueprint, and go, oh, this doesn't work because I had one bad day. It's not the way it works. Get back on the horse, get back on the wagon, however you want to deem it. Refocus on that why and get back into the blueprint. Even if you had a bender weekend, get back in. You didn't ruin all of your progress. So as you make progress, maybe you will have a bad weekend and you go, oh man, I put on like 3 pounds over the weekend and I ate so crappy. I just don't know if this is going to work for me, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Get back on the blueprint and lose another 15, 20, 30 pounds. And then if you have another weekend where you fall off, get back on. Keep reminding yourself why you're doing this, why you want to be healthy, why you want to exercise 7 days a week, even if it's just walking 7 days a week. I'm not talking about hitting the gym and bulking up and lifting big weights. I'm talking about moving your body every day so that your joints feel better, so that your body feels better, so your heart can pump better. So if you mess up, look back. That's why the journaling part is so important. And if you want to journal like emotionally, like write things out, for God's sakes, turn the page over from where you're food journaling and jot it down. Get another page and put it in your binder and jot it down. I, for the first week, journaled every day. Why am I feeling like crap? Why is my throat sore? Why do I have an acne breakout? Why do I have, if you're a journaler, journal. All I'm saying the blueprint needs is that you print out these tracking sheets and you fill them out. Fill out the tracking sheets and be freaking honest. The only person that's looking at this is you. You're going to know if you lied on it. So be honest. Put down everything you stuck in your mouth. And if you need to journal a little bit about how you're feeling or a challenge you had, turn the page over and write it on the back. Put a date on it. So when you go back, you can look at it and go, oh man, I ran into this before. So that's step one. Subscribe. Give the old thumbs up. If you want to, there's a notification bell apparently. Click whatever that is, because I don't really know about that. This is step one. Follow along. Come along with me on this journey, even if you're not moving to Spain, even if you're already out of debt. If you got weight to lose, follow the blueprint. Follow this part of the channel, because you never know when you subscribe and like and comment. Let me know what's going on in the comments. The YouTube algorithm will spread this to other people, and you don't know whose life you might affect by that algorithm putting it out in front of someone else. You might change somebody's life simply by doing that. So if you got value from this, remember, I'm not selling any of these. I'm not keeping any secrets to charge money for. In the link in the description, there is a buy me a coffee link. Please, if you feel you got value from this, if you're starting to feel better, whatever it happens to be, say, hey, I've spent $50 on diet pills before, I'll give you $10, whatever it is. buy me a coffee. Help me continue to pay for the website, continue to pay for all the stuff that I've got to pay for that goes along with building this stuff. And as always, come along for the journey, because it is going to be one hell of a journey. I'll see you guys on the next one.